An expert is a man who has made all the mistakes which can be made in a narrow field. The meaning of life consists in the fact that it makes no sense to say that life has no meaning. How wonderful that we have met with a paradox. Now we have some hope of making progress. The opposite of a fact is falsehood, but the opposite of one profound truth may very well be another profound truth. Criticism is exactly what I want, and I hope that you will find that the paper has been improved. Every sentence I utter must be understood not as an affirmation, but as a question. When it comes to atoms, language can be used only as in poetry. The poet, too, is not nearly so concerned with describing facts as with creating images. There are trivial truths and there are great truths. The opposite of a trivial truth is plainly false. The opposite of a great truth is also true. Every valuable human being must be a radical and a rebel, for what he must aim at is to make things better than they are. A point not directly referred to in the article but in which I have been very interested lately is the question of the unidirection of time. Physics is to be regarded not so much as the study of something a priori given, but rather as the development of methods of ordering and surveying human experience. Technology has advanced more in the last 30 years than in the previous 2,000. Everything we call real is made of things that cannot be regarded as real. I am not quite in agreement with your emphasis on the necessity to develop new concepts. Those who are not shocked when they first come across quantum theory cannot possibly have understood it. I believe that it is already possible to say that any application of classical concepts that permits an unambiguous definition may also be ascribed a physical interpretation. All knowledge presents itself within a conceptual framework adapted to account for previous experience, and that any such frame may prove too narrow to comprehend new experiences. Physics is the belief that a simple and consistent description of nature is possible. The best weapon of a dictatorship is secrecy, but the best weapon of a democracy should be the weapon of openness. Physics concerns what we say about nature. We are trapped by language to such a degree that every attempt to formulate insight is a play on words. Religion helps to make social life more harmonious. Its most important task is to remind us, in the language of pictures and parables, of the wider framework within which our life is set. We depend on our words. We are suspended in language. Our task is to communicate experience and ideas to others. Truth is something that we can attempt to doubt, and then perhaps, after much exertion, discover that part of the doubt is not justified. In the final analysis, mathematics is a mental game that we can play or not play as we choose. Opposites are not contradictory but complementary. An independent reality in the ordinary physical sense can neither be ascribed to the phenomena nor to the agencies of observation. Never express yourself more clearly than you are able to think. The measurement we get when we measure something is not a property of the thing measured. Stop telling God what to do with his dice. In mathematics, we can take our inner distance from the content of our statements. When searching for harmony in life, one must never forget that in the drama of existence, we are ourselves both actors and spectators. For a parallel to the lesson of atomic theory regarding the limited applicability of such customary idealizations, we must in fact turn to quite other branches of science. We are all agreed that your theory is crazy. The question which divides us is whether it is crazy enough to have a chance of being correct. My own feeling is that it is not crazy enough. In the case of interaction between several individuals, and altogether whenever there can be a question of quantization, the uncertainty relations must always be applied with caution. After the many years of struggling in the dark, I feel perhaps especially strongly the fulfillment of the old hopes brought about by the new discoveries of yourself and others. Isolated material particles are abstractions, their properties being definable and observable only through their interaction with other systems. It is wrong to think that the task of physics is to find out how nature is. As the goal of science is to augment and order our experience, every analysis of the conditions of human knowledge must rest on considerations of the character and scope of our means of communication. It seems necessary to introduce in the laws in question a quantity foreign to classical electrodynamics, i.e., Planck's constant, or as it is often called, the elementary quantum of action. I am absolutely prepared to talk about the spiritual life of an electronic computer to state that it is reflecting or is in a bad mood. I believe that a closer analysis offers the proper answer to such paradoxes regarding the nature of light as brought forward, especially by Lewis. In this connection, the ascertainment that the atom is in a definite state is always associated with a renunciation of the knowledge of the phase of the corresponding eigensolution. We have not only, as far as I can see, no basis for such a new fashioning so far, but the old empirical concepts appear to me to be inseparably linked to the foundations of the human means of visualization. The range of values of the variables that may be experimentally ascertained is smaller compared to the range of values of the individual eigensolutions, the larger the quantum number. We have to do with the recognition of an inescapable feature of complementarity that emerges in an analysis of the concept of observation, and which in many respects recalls the recognition of the general feature of relativity. If you have a correct statement, then the opposite of a correct statement is of course an incorrect statement, a wrong statement. But when you have a deep truth, then the opposite of a deep truth may again be a deep truth. Our task is not to penetrate the essence of things, the meaning of which we do not know anyway, but rather to develop concepts which allow us to talk in a productive way about phenomena in nature. Which of the quotes do you like the most? Please leave a comment, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel.